Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. I want to start off by looking at the stock market futures for tomorrow. And we are in the green pretty significantly. Now, this can change dramatically by morning. I've seen it be, half a percentage point in the green, flip to half a percentage point in the red. But this is a good sign. Now, since my video just a few hours ago, I've been analyzing the chart, and I've identified this green, fluorescent green line here as a line of resistance and support here on the Coinbase chart, and we are looking at the 4-hour time frame. And you can see resistance here and resistance here and support here. And then if you go back even further, we had support here and support here on this red candle, and then kind of just a conglomeration here of support and resistance on candle closes pretty closely here on these two, and right along here, right along there. Now, if you zoom out, you can see how this line has acted as support this whole time until we fell through it here on the Jerome Powell FUD. And then it's been, we've gone back and forth across it, but it does have points of resistance here. Now, why this interests me? Well, because it is resistance here. So I want to see what happens as we approach this line. And it looks with our current trajectory that we will approach this line tomorrow. Now, let me zoom in here. Of course, I just realized that we're pretty close to the top of the Gaussian channel here. The intersection here is start of a brand new day on Friday, UTC time. So I'm looking to see if we can get above this before that intersection and then come down. So above this tomorrow, up around 99,000, about into the $99,000 range, and then this intersections typically act as hard places to get through either way, as support or resistance. So if we can get above here, that's what I'm looking for tomorrow, and then come down and have this act as support. That leads me to believe that we will continue. Oh, by the way, I've also drawn these squiggly lines. That leads me to believe that we will continue following this green trajectory here. Now, if we find a rejection here, then possibly we just kind of bounce around sideways, maybe even come back down here, or whatever, and then follow the red trajectory here. Now, also, I'm interested at what happens with the intersection of this green line that I've identified and this dotted yellow line, which is horizontal line, which is 100K. And that occurs Tuesday morning, January 7th. It's 1600 UTC, which is around market open, Tuesday American market open. So that's would be an interesting time for either a pump above 100K or a rejection below it. And those were the two scenarios that I put forth in my previous video, is that we rally up to 100K, which probably would be on Tuesday, and then get a rejection and see a bigger correction downwards. Who knows? Maybe down to, down to here. Down to this little green X at around 90,000, 10% pullback. And then that would be, that's our support here. Around 91,000. Do we have something lower here? Oh, we have this other one here. 90,600. Kind of want to see this hold, see it close above that and act as get a higher low out of the deal here. But we'll just have to see. Now, this is interesting that this crosses here Tuesday morning, the 7th of October, because historically, in a few videos back, I pointed out that typically we rally in bull market years. We typically rally into the first week of January and then see a significant pullback as people take profits, and don't have to worry about the tax implications until next year. Now, while I'm talking about that, I was trying to wonder what the selling pressure was and what kind of... I'm like, why would people be taking profits now and then have to worry about those tax implications this coming year in April, March, April, whatever. And I realized, well, maybe, you got that IRS rule with the safe harbor rule where you can, set your what's it called? Your original price thing. Your basis, your price basis thing. So possibly people are taking profits on more recently bought Bitcoin here, especially considering that this bull market may be over in March, or it may extend till later in 2025, but possibly not all the way to the end. So that way, more recently bought Bitcoin would not qualify as long-term capital gains anyway. And so possibly they could be taking profits on smaller profits here on purchases in the last quarter, and then saving the Bitcoin that they purchased earlier on as their long-term tax profit thingies. So that could be the scenario. Now, if people were taking profits on purchases here in this area here, that might lessen the amount of sell pressure here in January when people are taking more profits, because we already did that here. So that's something to consider as well. Now, where was I? Yes, the 7th is where you typically see a pullback, and go back yourself and check it out in bull years. Go back every 4 years from this date and look at what happened in January, and you'll see a pullback around the 7th of January. Now, so that could be, we could follow this red path and pull back down to around the inauguration, which is where I placed this green X. And coincidentally, that is right here at this, at the bottom of this channel that we have been trading in right here. So that would make sense if we come out, break up, and come back down and find support there at that green X. And that's right around 91,000. And the alternative, if we feel really pumpy and people maybe aren't going to take as many profits or whatever, I don't know what the narrative will be over the course of the next week, we could pump all the way up to here by the 7th, 8th, 9th, sometime next week in the early part of January. And then this is the top of the white parallel channel that we've been consolidating in for this time since November, since the election. And this is the white parallel channel from which we start all parabolic bull rallies, the parabolic move in the bull market in Bitcoin's history. And I've gone over that many, many times before. So, and it would make sense. We just came up to the top of the channel, we come down to the bottom of the channel, come back up to the top of the channel. And that would be at around 108 and would also create a double top, which would get people really bearish, thinking, oh my God, this is a double top. It's going to come crashing down. So that would give the bears the narrative to have a significant dump like this. And that is about I think it was like a 22% dump or 18% dump or something like that. Let's see what that is. Oh, well, 17% dump. Oh, so that would be good. Because while we've seen 30% dumps in the past cycles, we're going to see less, smaller dumps here. I hope so. I hope we see smaller dumps. So that is one scenario. Another scenario. The red line is one scenario. The green line is another scenario. Or possibly even, if we do follow this green line, we are so bullish that we don't even come all the way down to the X. We could come back down to this intersection here, which is the bottom of our channel. See, if we came all the way down here, we'd be falling significantly out of this white channel. So we may only come down to here on the 22nd of January. And that's at around 96,000. And you can also see that would coincide with this top right here and some support levels in this area at 96K. So, got a bunch of different things to look at here, and they all make a lot of sense. Now, also what makes sense is that we could just see a rejection right here at this center line and come dumping down all the way down here. Or maybe blast through the center line a little bit, get rejected off the top of the Gaussian channel, come all the way down here this weekend. Come down to 87. That's a scenario. I think, though, I don't think so. I don't think the Bears have the Bears don't have it in them to do that right now. I really don't. I think they're losing power, and that they are gonna let this thing run to where they can then step in and get a much bigger dump, rather than try to burn up all their fuel trying to get us to dump here. I think they're gonna let it run, and where it would be easier for them to get a bigger dump. So those are my thoughts, and no reason in making this video any longer than it is. These dashed lines, by the way, represent the Gaussian channel on the daily time frame. Just switch to that to show you briefly. What did I just do? I pressed the wrong one. So you can see that represents the daily Gaussian channel. Now you do have the note that you do have the center line of the Gaussian channel, which is going to be continuing up this way. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's going to intersect this next week. So that's something to think about too. And yeah, note that's the other thing here. The quite possibly the bottom of the Gaussian channel intersects right around here on the around Inauguration Day, and it intersects this channel right here. So that's something to note as well. So in reality, like I pointed out before, we're not dumping down here through the Gaussian channel. We're just kind of going sideways and letting it come up into us, and then we do actually end up going through it to the bottom and then seeing probably a bounce here. That makes a lot of sense to me. All right, so if you feel like it, if you really thoroughly hate this video, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And that's about it. See you next time.